Frieza lunges forward without a single instant of delay, his dark metallic fist cutting through the dense air to initiate the physical engagement. Goku shifts his body automatically to the side, his silver aura casting a bright light across the cracked plains as he evades the initial strike with absolute precision. Vegeta positions himself rapidly on the right flank, his deep purple aura flaring violently as he prepares to capitalize on the Emperor's forward momentum. The sheer speed of the opening assault causes the surrounding ground to shatter further, sending large chunks of Namekian soil flying into the turbulent atmosphere. Frieza narrows his focus, instantly adjusting his trajectory to sweep his tail toward his opponents. Intercepting the sudden tail movement with exceptional timing, Vegeta drives his closed fist directly into the side of the galactic tyrant's torso. Frieza absorbs the immense physical impact with a sharp grunt, the sheer force of the blow generating a massive shockwave that expands across the entire clearing. Goku utilizes the brief opening to execute a rapid combination of air pressure strikes, each blow landing precisely on the vulnerable joints of their opponent's armor. The coordinated offensive pressure forces the Emperor to glide backward several meters, his feet carving deep grooves into the green grass as he struggles to maintain his defensive balance. Vegeta pursues relentlessly, his destructive energy humming with increased intensity as he prepares another heavy assault. Recovering his balance instantly in mid-air, Frieza whips his elongated tail forward to ensnare the advancing Saiyan Prince around the throat. Vegeta reacts by tightening his neck muscles, welcoming the intense physical pain as his internal power spikes from the direct combat trauma. Goku perceives the dangerous entanglement immediately, his body moving without conscious thought to charge a concentrated energy sphere at the tip of his fingers. The Silver Warrior fires the precise blast directly at the base of the Emperor's tail, intending to force a release through targeted kinetic pressure. Frieza scoffs at the tactical intervention, tightening his grip even further to crush his captive's defenses before the energy beam can connect. Deflecting the incoming silver energy blast with a sudden flare of his dark metallic aura, Frieza maintains his iron grip on the struggling Saiyan Prince. Vegeta responds by driving both of his hands directly into the Emperor's forearms, channeling a massive surge of pure destruction ki into the opponent's upper body. Goku closes the distance at blinding speed, appearing directly behind the tyrant to deliver a powerful two-handed hammer strike to the back of his neck. The dual influx of divine and destructive energy forces Frieza to finally release his hold, his massive form stumbling forward as the spatial pressure around them fractures. Vegeta gasps for breath but immediately resets his combat posture, refusing to grant his nemesis any room to recuperate. Launching himself directly into the upper atmosphere to escape the immediate pincer movement, Frieza hovers high above the darkened plains while gathering his dark energy. Goku tracks the rapid ascent instantly, ascending in a spiral trajectory that allows him to maintain a perfect defensive orientation against any incoming long-range attacks. Vegeta follows closely behind, his purple aura trailing across the sky like an ominous comet, as his battle heat continues to elevate his physical capabilities. The galactic tyrant looks down at his approaching adversaries with absolute malice, explaining through his body language that their combined efforts will never suffice to overcome his augmented power. Frieza extends both hands downward, unleashing a torrential barrage of highly concentrated death beams to halt their upward progress. Weaving seamlessly through the descending crimson network of energy, Goku utilizes his autonomous reflexes to evade every single projectile without losing momentum. Vegeta chooses an entirely different tactical path, charging directly through the center of the explosive barrage and allowing the stray blasts to detonate against his physical form. The resulting explosions coat the sky in thick smoke and purple sparks, yet the Saiyan Prince emerges from the chaos with a manic grin as his internal power level skyrockets from the sustained damage. Frieza expresses mild irritation at the reckless display of endurance, quickly increasing the density of his energy output to suppress the rising threat. Goku closes the remaining distance, his silver aura flaring brightly as he aims a decisive straight punch at the Emperor's chest. Parrying the Silver Warrior's punch with his left forearm, Frieza counters instantly by firing a point-blank energy blast from his right palm. Goku twists his torso automatically, the explosive beam grazing his shoulder and leaving a smoking combat injury across his skin. Vegeta arrives at that exact microsecond, slamming his knee directly into the Emperor's jaw with the full force of his accumulated battle heat. The crushing blow forces Frieza to reel backward, his dark metallic aura flickering momentarily as the planetary amplification from the planet core struggles to stabilize his internal systems. Goku immediately capitalizes on the destabilization, spinning fluidly to land a heavy kick against the tyrant's ribs. Retreating further into the stratosphere to create vital operational space, Frieza raises his right hand high above his head to manifest a colossal sphere of dark cosmic energy. Goku stops his pursuit instantly, his silver aura shimmering with intense focus as he recognizes the immense destructive potential of the growing attack. Vegeta glides to a halt beside his rival, his deep purple aura expanding outwards as he analyzes the dense concentration of planetary life force within the sphere. The Galactic Emperor announces through his booming voice that he intends to reduce the entire planet of New Namek to cosmic dust along with everyone on it. Frieza thrusts his hand downward, sending the massive supernova-like projectile hurtling toward the trembling landscape below. Stepping directly into the path of the descending cataclysm, Vegeta places both hands forward to intercept the massive sphere of dark energy. Frieza watches with cruel amusement, increasing his internal output to ensure the weight of the projectile crushes the Saiyan Prince completely. Goku positions himself immediately behind his companion, extending his own hands to channel a supportive flow of divine ki into the prince's back. The sheer kinetic pressure of the collision forces both Saiyans backward by several hundred meters, their feet generating intense friction against the air currents as they fight to halt the descent. Vegeta grits his teeth against the overwhelming strain, his destructive aura flaring to its absolute maximum as he begins to erode the outer shell of the Emperor's attack. Unleashing a massive wave of pure Hakai energy from his palms, Vegeta successfully destabilizes the core of the giant dark sphere. Frieza narrows his eyes in genuine surprise as the outer layers of his ultimate technique begin to dissolve into microscopic purple particles. Goku utilizes this moment of structural vulnerability to unleash a massive, full-power Kamehameha wave directly into the center of the fracture. The combination of divine blue light and destructive purple energy triggers a massive internal chain reaction within the cosmic projectile, causing it to implode violently in mid-air. The resulting detonation unleashes an all-consuming shockwave that completely obliterates the clouds and alters the gravitational field of the entire planet. Blinded momentarily by the brilliant flash of the cataclysmic explosion, Frieza relies on his advanced sensory capabilities to track his opponents through the billowing smoke. Goku emerges from the dense vapor cloud with exceptional velocity, his silver aura completely undisturbed by the concussive force of the detonation. Vegeta follows slightly behind, his physical form showing numerous minor lacerations from the explosive feedback, though his internal power remains entirely undiminished. The galactic tyrant quickly adjusts his posture, raising his defensive guard just as the Silver Warrior arrives to deliver a devastating elbow strike. The impact echoes across the upper atmosphere, forcing both combatants to engage in a rapid, high-stakes struggle for physical dominance. Swinging his heavy tail with malicious precision, Frieza manages to clip Goku across the temple during the close-quarters exchange. The unexpected strike disrupts the Silver Warrior's automatic movements for a fraction of a second, causing his divine transformation to flicker rapidly. Vegeta attempts to shield his companion by launching a barrage of destructive energy rings to bind the Emperor's limbs. Frieza easily evades the tracking projectiles, utilizing his superior velocity to deliver a brutal overhead double-axe handle strike directly to his opponent's chest. The immense blunt force drives the Saiyan hero downward at terminal velocity, sending him crashing heavily into the cracked plains below. Impact forming a massive crater in the center of the Namekian plains, Goku struggles to push himself up from the debris as his silver aura completely vanishes. Frieza looks down from the stratosphere with supreme satisfaction, believing that he has successfully eliminated one half of the Saiyan threat. Vegeta roars with absolute fury at the sight of his rival's fall, his purple aura exploding outward with unprecedented ferocity as he charges the Emperor once more. The prince launches a relentless, single-minded assault, throwing a flurry of heavy punches that ignore all defensive protocols in favor of absolute destruction. Frieza raises his forearms to block the incoming strikes, his metallic armor sustaining visible fractures from the sheer weight of the assault. Countering the frantic offensive with a precise and brutal knee strike to the ribs, Frieza halts the Saiyan Prince's momentum instantly. Vegeta coughs up a violent spray of fluid as the physical blow fractures his internal defenses, forcing his destructive aura to dissipate completely. The Emperor follows up with a swift spinning back fist that sends the prince hurtling downward toward the exact same crater where his rival lies. Vegeta hits the shattered soil heavily, his transformation fading entirely as the physical toll of his accumulated injuries catches up to his body. Frieza descends slowly from the sky, his dark aura humming softly as he hovers just a few meters above the defeated warriors. Hovering with an air of absolute cosmic superiority, Frieza chuckles quietly as he observes the exhausted states of his eternal rivals. Goku slowly helps his companion stand up, both Saiyans leaning against each other while keeping their eyes locked onto the tyrant. Vegeta wipes a trail of blood from his jaw, muttering through gritted teeth that they have faced far worse odds during their long martial arts careers. The Galactic Emperor explains that his current power level is completely beyond their comprehension, thanks to the continuous energetic amplification provided by the planet core. Frieza raises his right index finger, gathering a highly concentrated death beam to execute them both simultaneously. Shifting his weight to prepare for a final, desperate tactical maneuver, Goku whispers to his partner that they must synchronize their internal key frequencies perfectly. Vegeta nods silently in agreement, understanding that traditional individual strategies will never suffice to breach the Emperor's reinforced defenses. As the Tyrant prepares to fire the lethal beam, both Saiyans suddenly activate their core divine reserves to initiate a simultaneous transformation. Goku powers up instantly, his brilliant blue aura erupting with divine light that illuminates the darkened landscape of New Namek. Vegeta transforms in unison, his deep blue energy resonating perfectly with his rival's aura to create a unified front. Firing the concentrated death beam with lethal intent, Frieza watches as the crimson projectile streaks toward the newly transformed Saiyans. Goku utilizes a precise instant transmission maneuver to vanish from the line of fire at the exact microsecond of impact. Vegeta moves simultaneously, appearing directly on the Emperor's left flank to deliver a powerful, divine-infused sidekick to his torso. The unexpected spatial relocation catches the Tyrant completely off guard, the physical blow connecting cleanly and forcing him to stumble sideways across the clearing. Frieza growls in frustration, his dark metallic aura flaring violently as he scrambles to re-establish his defensive perimeter. Reappearing instantly on the right side of the staggered Emperor, Goku unleashes a rapid succession of precise, high-velocity punches. Frieza raises his hands frantically to parry the incoming assault, but the perfect synchronization between the two Saiyans splits his defensive focus completely. Vegeta capitalizes on the distraction, gathering a dense charge of Galactic gun energy into his palms before firing it at point-blank range. The massive purple-blue beam impacts the Tyrant's back directly, creating a localized detonation that hurls him forward into the path of his opponent's waiting fists. The coordinated tactical pressure successfully prevents the Emperor from utilizing his full planetary amplification. Absorbing the heavy physical feedback with growing irritation, Frieza expands his dark aura into a massive protective shield to force his attackers back. Goku is thrown backward by several meters, his feet dragging across the loose gravel as he maintains his defensive stance. Vegeta stabilizes his position quickly, noting that the Emperor's internal energy signature is beginning to exhibit minor fluctuations due to the continuous strain. The galactic Tyrant acknowledges through his cold laughter that their teamwork is impressive, but asserts that his physical endurance remains completely unmatched. Frieza charges forward with sudden, explosive velocity, targeting the Saiyan Prince with a brutal straight punch. Ducking swiftly beneath the incoming fist to evade the devastating impact, Vegeta retaliates with a sharp elbow strike to the Tyrant's midsection. Frieza blocks the strike with his knee, instantly utilizing his tail to swing around and strike the Prince across the shoulder. Goku lunges into the fray to intercept the tail, grabbing the limb with both hands and utilizing his full physical momentum to swing the Emperor around in a wide circle. The massive kinetic force hurls Frieza directly into a nearby rock formation, the obsidian structures shattering into dust upon contact with his dense metallic chassis. Vegeta immediately begins gathering energy for another coordinated long-range assault. Emerging from the shattered rock debris completely unscathed, Frieza unleashes a massive telekinetic shockwave that ripples across the entire plane. Goku struggles to maintain his footing as the ground beneath him liquefies under the immense spatial pressure. Vegeta is forced to abandon his energy gathering, raising a quick key barrier to protect himself from the flying shards of obsidian stone. The Galactic Emperor hovers above the destruction, explaining that his connection to the planet core allows him to continuously draw upon the deep geological reserves of the dead worlds he conquered. Frieza focuses his gaze, preparing to unleash an even greater concentration of cosmic energy to terminate their resistance. Realizing that their current divine forms are insufficient to secure a definitive victory, Goku deepens his focus to re-enter his state of absolute, serene calm. Once Goku transitions instantly back into a brilliant silver sheen, his body moves automatically as the oppressive telekinetic pressure washes harmlessly around him. Vegeta transforms simultaneously beside his rival, his deep purple destructive energy flaring to life with renewed vigor as Vegeta welcomes the escalating heat of the battle. Frieza narrows his eyes at the return of their ultimate transformations, his dark aura humming with intense power as he prepares to meet them head-on. The three elite combatants lock eyes, knowing that the final phase of their violent confrontation has arrived. Vanishing from his position with completely untraceable velocity, Goku reappears directly in front of the Galactic Tyrant. Frieza throws a rapid combination of striking attacks, but the Silver Warrior's autonomous reflexes allow him to drift fluidly around every single fist. Vegeta advances from the blind spot, his fist enveloped in pure destruction ki, as he drives it squarely into the Emperor's jaw. The crushing impact fractures a portion of the Tyrant's metallic facial plating, causing dark energy to leak from the open combat injury. Frieza roars with absolute fury, his composure completely shattering as he feels the physical toll of the Saiyan's peak forms. Unleashing an omnidirectional burst of dark cosmic energy to clear his immediate surroundings, Frieza forces both Saiyans to take a temporary defensive posture. Goku glides backward automatically, his silver aura absorbing the residual heat of the blast without allowing his posture to waver. Vegeta absorbs the brunt of the dark explosion directly, his purple aura expanding exponentially as the physical pain elevates his destructive capacity to its absolute zenith. The Saiyan Prince laughs fiercely through the smoke, asserting that the Emperor's desperation is only making his opponents stronger. Frieza glares at the rising power level of his nemesis, realizing that a prolonged war of attrition favors the Saiyans. Attempting to re-establish total control over the battlefield, Frieza raises both hands to manifest dozens of tracking death beams around his body. Goku advances through the forming network of energy with absolute serenity, his automatic movements allowing him to thread through the narrowest gaps between the beams. Vegeta charges directly alongside him, using his massive destructive aura to vaporize any projectiles that threaten to intercept their forward progress. The galactic tyrant backs away in visible apprehension, his internal sensors indicating that the planetary amplification from the planet core is reaching its operational limits. Goku closes the distance, landing a precise palm strike directly over the Emperor's heart. The concentrated force of the Silver Warrior's palm strike sends a massive shockwave directly through Frieza's internal organs. The galactic tyrant gasps for air as his dark metallic aura flickers violently, the stabilization of the planet core's energy completely failing within his chassis. Vegeta arrives instantly to capitalize on the vulnerability, delivering a devastating spinning kick to the Emperor's midsection that sends him hurtling across the plains. Frieza crashes heavily into the cracked soil, rolling several times before coming to a halt near the edge of the summoning circle. Goku hovers silently above the fallen Emperor, his silver aura pulsing with a calm, decisive light. Struggling slowly to his knees while coughing up dark fluid, Frieza glares upward at the two Saiyans with an expression of pure, unadulterated hatred. He realizes that his newly acquired artifact has been completely overwhelmed by the perfect combination of absolute instinct and pure destruction. Vegeta descends to the ground a few meters away, his purple aura humming softly, as he advises the tyrant that his reign of terror over Universe 7 terminates today. Goku shifts his weight, his internal focus entirely locked onto the final tactical movements required to secure the victory. The Galactic Emperor slowly raises his hand, his fingers trembling as he attempts to gather a final spark of cosmic energy. Recognizing that the threat must be neutralized permanently to ensure galactic safety, Goku brings his cupped hands down to his side. A brilliant sphere of silver-blue energy begins to form within his palms, the ambient light illuminating the entire desolate plain of New Namek. Vegeta positions himself adjacent to his rival, raising his right hand high to gather a colossal sphere of purple Hakai energy to complement the attack. Frieza watches the dual energy accumulation with a sudden, rare look of genuine dread, his internal systems completely unable to generate a sufficient defensive barrier to withstand the impending assault. The surrounding atmosphere grows entirely still as the Saiyans finalize their preparations, unleashing their ultimate techniques simultaneously. Goku fires a colossal Kamehameha wave, while Vegeta launches his massive sphere of destruction. The two divine energies intertwine seamlessly in mid-air, creating a massive torrent of silver and purple light that rushes toward the incapacitated Emperor. Frieza screams in absolute defiance, throwing both of his hands forward to meet the incoming cataclysm with the absolute remainder of his dark power. The initial collision creates a blinding flash that completely obscures the horizon, the sheer pressure of the clashing forces generating intense spatial distortions across the sector. The Saiyans maintain their absolute maximum output, pushing the beam forward with resolute determination. Overwhelming the tyrant's final defenses within a fraction of a second, the combined divine assault completely engulfs Frieza's massive frame. The immense kinetic and magical pressure forces the galactic dictator backward, his dark metallic aura dissolving entirely under the relentless influx of silver and purple ki. High above the battlefield, the automated defensive sensors of the imperial flagship register the catastrophic loss of their commander's life signature. The remaining operational crew immediately initiates an emergency retreat protocol, activating the vessel's primary hyperdrive engines to flee the sector before the spatial explosion consumes them. The massive starship vanishes into deep space, leaving the tyrant entirely isolated within the blast. Carried upward by the sheer momentum of the colossal energy beam, Frieza is blasted completely out of New Namek's lower atmosphere into the vacuum of space. The final detonation occurs far beyond the stratosphere, creating a brilliant star-like flare that illuminates the dark cosmos for several seconds before slowly fading into nothingness. Goku slowly lowers his hands as his silver aura begins to dissipate, his physical form returning to its baseline state immediately after the threat clears. Once Goku stumbles slightly from exhaustion, he leans forward to catch his breath while surveying the silent landscape. Vegeta drops his arm, his purple destructive energy fading away as Vegeta breathes heavily from the intense physical exertion of the battle. Standing firmly amidst the deep craters of the scorched plain, Vegeta adjusts his posture while acknowledging that their nemesis has finally been neutralized. Goku looks up at the peaceful sky, noting that the dark atmosphere created by the summoning ritual has fully dispersed, returning the planet to its natural state. The 7 inert stone spheres remain scattered across the distant sectors of the cosmos, safe from the hands of any galactic conquerors for the foreseeable future. Vegeta crosses his arms, muttering that their intense training on Beerus's planet was the only reason they managed to survive the tyrant's augmented capabilities. They both understand that while this specific crisis has concluded, their duty to protect the universe remains an ongoing endeavor. Sensing a sudden, familiar presence materializing behind them, Goku turns around to see Whis standing calmly near the center of the clearing. Whis taps his staff lightly against the ground, the gemstone glowing with a soft blue light as he compliments the Saiyans on their exceptional tactical execution. Vegeta demands to know how the angel managed to arrive so quickly after the conclusion of the battle. Without utilizing standard transportation methods, Whis explains that he had been monitoring their progress from the divine realm, and chose to intervene only after the cosmic balance had been successfully restored. The divine attendant offers to restore their physical stamina to ensure they can return home safely. Accepting the divine assistance with a grateful nod, Goku feels a warm wave of rejuvenative energy wash over his exhausted body. Vegeta stands quietly as his minor combat injuries heal instantly, his internal reserves completely replenishing under the influence of the angelic staff. Whis informs them that the disruptions on Earth have also been fully resolved by Gohan and Piccolo, ensuring total peace across the key sectors of Universe 7. Goku smiles broadly, expressing his relief that their companions managed to secure the planet while they were occupied with the Emperor. The confirmation of universal stability allows the elite warriors to finally relax their defensive postures. Preparing to depart from the restored plains of New Namek, Vegeta places a hand firmly on Goku's shoulder to prepare for the return journey. Whis raises his staff aloft, enveloping all 3 of them in a brilliant pillar of blue light that prepares to cross the dimensional threshold back to the divine realm. Goku casts one final look at the pristine green landscape, silently wishing the native population well as they rebuild their peaceful villages from the remnants of the invasion. The magical light intensifies, completely concealing their forms as the spatial displacement sequence achieves full synchronization. With a sharp acoustic chime, they vanish from the mortal world entirely, leaving New Namek in absolute tranquility. Materializing instantly back onto the smooth grass of Beerus's planet, Goku and Vegeta adjust their weight as the familiar divine energy hums quietly around them. Whis steps ahead to return his staff to its resting position, his calm demeanor signaling the official conclusion of their perilous galactic assignment. Beerus opens one eye from his stone lounger nearby, muttering a brief complaint about the sudden flash of light, before returning to his peaceful nap. Goku grins at his rival, suggesting that they rest for only a single hour before resuming their daily sparring sessions to perfect their techniques further. Vegeta smirks confidently, walking toward his training position while asserting that he will be the one to surpass the apex of divine power during their next encounter.